Representative Tabke, would you like to move your bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to move House File 3526 to the General Register.
Representative Tabke moves House File 3526 to be recommended to be placed on the General Register. Let's try and get these amendments done quick, and then you can describe the bill. I think you have an author's amendment, the A2. Do you want to move the A2?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'll move the A2. It's a technical amendment that we have added some definitions and making sure that everything is very clear for everybody.
Representative Tabke moves the A2 amendment. Any discussion to the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. The A2 is adopted. Representative Niska, do you want to offer the A1 amendment?
Yes, thank you, Chair Stevenson. And the A1 amendment also is, I think, just a technical amendment trying to make sure that the intent of the bill and the intent of 325E.80 as we passed last year is fully realized in terms of making sure this is in the Attorney General's bailiwick and not that there's not a private right of action. So I was looking at it, putting on my plaintiff's lawyer hat. I was kind of thinking about how you could still find a way around that language, and so this is just adding in some clarification that there's nothing in 325 or 8.31 subdivision 3A that would also provide a private right of action.
Representative Tabke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative Niska. I look at this as a friendly amendment and prefer its adoption.
Further discussion to the A1. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. The A1 is adopted. Representative Tabke, to your bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So to the bill as amended, what this does today is it works on price gouging, and it expands on the work that was done last year by Chair Stevenson and the committee on price gouging. So what we do is we are adding in tree trimming and other services from restoration and mitigation companies to the price gouging statute. And so this is eliminating the folks, working to eliminate the folks that have extremely high prices that make sure that those to make sure that we are reducing the impact that those have on everyone. And so we are looking for ways to address rising premiums, and this bill is a small step that we have to achieve that end goal. So I just would turn it over to Mr. Cocking for additional references as to why this is important.
Mr. Cock.
Chair Stevenson, members of the committee, thank you for hearing this bill so early in the 2024 session. Again, for the record, my name is Aaron Cocking, President and CEO of the Insurance Federation of Minnesota. Well, as we have just discussed in detail, the cost of insurance is rising significantly. This bill will help to reduce the costs of some claims that homeowners and insurers face following severe storms. As Representative Tabke mentioned, we are looking to build on the work of this committee from last year when you addressed price gouging contractors. Last year's bill said that when there is a severe thunderstorm, a residential building contractor can't charge an unconscionably excessive price for labor in comparison to the market price, nor can a contractor charge an insurance company a rate that exceeds what they would otherwise charge a member of the general public. So the bill before you today would add tree trimmers and restoration mitigation companies to that list, prohibiting them from taking advantage of insurers in the same way that contractors were before the passage of last year's legislation. I want to thank the Attorney General's office for their work on this issue since last year's law went into effect. They have responded when companies have forwarded price gouging claims to them, sending letters to the contractors who have violated this statute. And their efforts are one of the reasons we have returned to enhance this law today. We need to make sure that these companies are not gouging insurers, because in times where you need a water restoration company, you don't have the luxury of getting multiple estimates. And I know that from personal experience. A few years ago, we had a pipe burst in our home, and as the water's pouring out of the ceiling, my only thought was, who is the first company that can come out here and start cleaning this up? I didn't consider calling multiple restoration companies to ask for their best price. I called the first one that came to my mind and said, how fast can you get here? And I know that I'm not alone on this, which is why we need to ensure that these companies are acting in a fair manner. Well, let me show you a couple of examples of companies that we would consider not acting in a fair manner. Here's an example of a tree that has been blown down and is resting on this structure. Now, most standard insurance policies allow for $500 per tree for debris removal, plus the cost to remove it from the insured structure. Insurance company received a bill from a tree service in southern Minnesota. It included the $500 debris removal cost and then almost $9,000 to remove this tree from that structure. This charge included a line item for a storm damage climber and emergency hazard removal. Now, here's an example from a water restoration company. A water line to a water softener, which is clean water, broke, causing water to run into the finished basement of a home. The home was a pretty standard dwelling, about 2,000 square feet in total, plus the basement. The water mitigation company charged over $77,000 for the water mitigation in the basement, and that did not include any of the cost to actually repair the damage. That was about 20% of the total value of the home. Some of the high-level issues with that mitigation bill included the mitigation company was charging for fans, dehumidifiers, and thermal air movers, which is normal, but they did that for 16 days. A typical dry-out takes 3 to 4 days. Additionally, this company billed for water extraction and demolition of Category 3 water, which is generally contaminated water associated with sewage. A pipe leading to a water softener is clean water and should have been billed at Category 1. Higher priced equipment was chosen in the estimate when lower priced equipment was used. More dehumidifiers and equipment were used than needed based on industry guidance, square footage. The competitive bid received from another local mitigation contractor was $37,000, almost $40,000 less. A consultant in the field wrote an estimate for $36,900. Now, when confronted with this, the mitigation contractor revised their bill and submitted it with a $10,000 reduction. And one final example, there was a relatively large tree that fell on a home during a windstorm at night. Now, while the tree was large and the timing was after hours, a nearly $70,000 tree removal invoice was pretty unexpected. In this claim, the bill included the use of 2 cranes, one with a line item charge of $20,000 and one with a line item of $6,500. A bucket truck was charged at $2,500 for 1 day, a skid steer for 2 days at $2,350. Crew members were billed for 24 hours at $337 per hour. An additional 56 hours was billed at $225. Now, I'm sure we can all agree that, stump grinders and skid steer operators are not taking home $450,000 to $650,000 per year. So as I said at the outset, this price gouging hurts consumers in the form of higher premium. These few examples offer only a snapshot of what insurers see frequently. The bill today helps address this by holding tree trimmers and restoration mitigation companies accountable. I want to thank you to Representative Tapke for chief authoring this. We'll look for your support and happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Cocking. Are there any members of the public wishing to testify as to this bill? Seeing none, we'll move to member discussion and questions. Mr. Cocking, can you just briefly speak? I know you and I have talked about the Attorney General's enforcement of the price gouging statute that we passed last year for storm chasers. Can you speak to what your industry's experience has been with that?
Yeah, Chair Stevenson, thank you for the question. When we passed the bill last year, when you guys passed the bill last year, towards the end there was a private right of action included, and it moved to the point where the enforcement authority rested with the Attorney General, and we had a little bit of question as far as what that was going to look like. You're going to take this when the bill went into effect August 1st, and these claims started coming in. Companies began forwarding these claims to the Attorney General's office, and the Attorney General picked up on them and was sending letters, and we were seeing good work and actual change on the part of the contractors as a result of the Attorney General's work. And so we have found this to be incredibly effective, and I think that's an important point to note too on some who might question, like, well, we're going to put these tree trimmers, these restoration companies in an awkward place. The due process that exists in the fact that the Attorney General is still doing the investigation and enforcement on this provides due process if those companies want to justify their $70,000 tree removal for a single tree.
Further discussion to the bill. Representative Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and to the testifiers and Representative Tabke. I realize this is a brand new section of statute, and this committee worked heavily on this. I just wanted to ask, since it went into effect, have we seen any unintended consequences? Just this underlying language, which should give us pause. Past experiences, whether with the AG's office or with the Department of Commerce.
Mr. Cocking.
Chair Stevenson, Representative Schultz, from our standpoint, no, but I don't want to convey to you that I would represent everybody who might have been impacted by this in some way, shape, or form.
We're about to hit the 2:30 mark, which is when we're supposed to end. There's some people who need to come and take the Zoom equipment, so when they need to do that, they should feel free to come down and do that. I think we're about to wrap up anyway, but Representative Perryman.
Thank you, Chair Stevenson. Very brief. I think it's a great bill. I signed on it as soon as I saw it. It is great, so thank you, Representative Tapke. Is going to do so much for all Minnesotans in a time, too, that they're already feeling stress and a sense of urgency to find that repair person, and will grab anyone that will listen. So it really will do great things for us to protect consumers, protect our insurance providers from the bad actors that we've already heard about. And just one thing, it will help me with a husband who likes to do everything himself to save money. And so thank you for this, because I can prove to him that we've got a bill that he doesn't have to do that anymore. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Any further discussion to the bill? Seeing none, Representative Tapke.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much, Representative Perryman, for your support of this bill. And I just appreciate everyone the yes vote and move this forward.
All right, Representative Tapke renews his motion that House File 3526 as amended be recommended to be placed on the general register. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. The House File 3526 as amended is recommended to be placed on the general register.